Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, and this is not a daily ramble. Again, one day I'll change that graphic for a match reaction. It's a match reaction. All right. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There's not going to be much to like about this video, but please drop a like on it anyway because it does really help us. Yeah, we just got beat at home, 1-0 against Everton. I don't really know where to start. I mean, I suppose we'll start with a starting lineup. I was surprised to see. Well, I wasn't surprised to see Kudus named because David Moyes would have been suicidal to have played the same way that he's played in the previous 5 games in this one. Because if he'd have lost then he really would have been in shit. So he had to get Kudus on the pitch. Souček out. It was the right decision. Kudus was brilliant as well. You know, he was biting, he was snapping, he was the top of all of our attacking and defensive stats in the first half. He was wonderful in the middle of the pitch there, always finding himself in pockets of space. But he did go and get himself a yellow card, and naturally he had to control himself, and he became a little bit quieter beyond that. But look, Everton did with us. I've seen people comment on Twitter and they've said, oh, well, look, people have asked him for... They're blaming fans for the fact that David Moyes has somehow changed his style. No, he didn't. He didn't. We play a low block against anyone that wants the ball. When we play at home against a team that play a low block and give us the ball, then it's down to us to take it to the opposition. This happens anyway. This is what happens. You can't have 2 teams saying, I don't want the ball. We're at home. We need the points. We had to take the game to them and break them down. They said, ask us some questions. And we didn't really ask him any fucking questions. We looked okay in spells. Right at the very start of the game, we looked quite bright. And then it just petered out again. Petered out. Everton managed the game. They managed it. We didn't really bother them too much. They were stronger. They were more physical. The midfield won the battle again. Because, look, everybody knows that I had concerns about James Ward-Prowse joining this club. I did. I called him a one-trick pony. I said he's an average footballer, very good technically, a very good technical player, but to be a midfielder in the Premier League, you need to have either pace or power to add to that technical ability. Otherwise, you tend to get swallowed up. That's what I believe anyway. And you know what? He started really well. He couldn't have started any better. He's everything he touched turned to gold. So in a few games, I'm like, I was wrong. I was wrong about Ward-Prowse. Well, fast forward now to the 10th game, which is where you can kind of really review and see what's going on with the team and with players within that system. We've got the player that I thought we was getting now. He's not anything special. He was anonymous in that team. He did nothing. His set pieces are no better than what we've got already. Let's face it, they're all right. They might be a little bit better, but is there any reason to sacrifice a place in the team for somebody that might be able to do a better job? Is that any reason to shunt Paqueta out to the wing and spare part him either out left or we'll bring Antonio off? Let's throw him up front now. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, look, he done the right thing in getting Souček out. But for me, when we come up against sort of big, fast, physical teams, which most teams are going to be, I think the midfield's been figured out. I think Alvarez is being run ragged because he's doing the job of 2 men and he's no Declan Rice. Declan Rice managed to do that when he had Souček next to him. He kind of held the fort. But I don't think Alvarez is going to be able to. He's going to be exposed. He needs a competent partner in there with him. And James Ward-Prowse doesn't really do anything. He just passes sideways and backwards. He doesn't really do anything else. That's when he gets on the ball. He's late going into tackles because he ain't quick. I just don't see it from him now. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that he's just going through a little bit of a bad run of form. But yeah, I just don't see it with James Ward-Prowse. I think it's another position in the team now that's going to be occupied. We've just got rid of one with Souček because now Kudus is in, and now we've got another player sort of occupying the team that I don't really necessarily think should be in there at the moment, and it ain't helping us. It's not. We were. Yeah, going back to what the fans are saying, they're saying, oh, this is what you wanted. You wanted possession-based football. They're saying 60-40. You know, this is why you play the Moyes way. Well, no, you can't play the Moyes way against Everton. You know, that is... And it ain't working anyway because you play... The low block is the style of the inferior team when you're coming up against a better team to try and hit them on the counter-attack. Well, you can't do that with a team that are deep. You can only do that when you're playing against better teams. And it ain't worked against better teams. We got stuffed by Man United. We got stuffed by Liverpool. We almost got stuffed by a knackered Newcastle as well at home. Just saved by a last-minute goal. We managed to get a point out of it. It's shit. I've been saying it since the very start of the season. When we beat Chelsea, when we beat Brighton, and everyone's fucking going giddy and going, oh, we're amazing. Overlooking the fact that Areola was our man of the match in those games. Areola won us those games. I know that we had good passages of play. I know we scored some good goals. But the cracks were there. The cracks were there. They were. It was the same. It was the same, apart from the fact we looked clinical for a moment when we get on the ball. Something that we know that we're not consistently throughout a season. You know? So I had no doubt in my mind that this was going to start happening. I didn't expect us to lose to Everton today. But my God, you know, Everton could have... They had the better chances in the game. I'm not saying we didn't have any chances, but they had the better chances. Areola saved us again. You know, brilliant fucking save, flicking it past the post. Calvert-Lewin goes through, smashes the underside of the crossbar. All right, he was offside. But the three best chances in the game were theirs. We're at home. And that's with Kudus, that's with Paqueta, that's with all these players on the pitch. And what it is, people say, oh, well, you're throwing the players on the pitch. You've got to look at the players now. No. When you look at Villa and you look at Brighton and you look at teams that play a certain way, which is what we're talking about when we want to see us play a more progressive way. David Moyes couldn't do it if he had the best 11 players in the world because the style of football is coached. It comes from the training ground. Passages of play, if you just watch the way that Villa played against us, you know, what David Moyes does is he just throws players on a fucking pitch and hopes for the best. He hopes for a bit of, he wants resilience, which he ain't got this season, and then he wants individual brilliance so players can basically just do something for him. That's it. That's the extent of David Moyes, I'm afraid. And when you look at the league this year, I am sorry, but you look at Wolves are going to be on the up. They've been shafted twice this year by VAR. I think I think Brighton and Aston Villa are gone as far as I'm concerned. Newcastle are in there as well. Chelsea will rise. I think I can see Wolves coming up. So I think what that does is that puts West Ham in a pack with Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Brentford. I think Brentford will probably finish above us as well. Is that good enough? We've spent £500 million fucking pounds. And that is where we are. And people, after 3 games, were saying, give this man a contract. He deserves a contract. That's what he deserves. Our best manager ever. Fuck the record books. Don't go calling him the best manager ever because he ain't our most talented manager ever. I'm talking about talent. We've got a talented team now. He don't fit. He's like a fucking fish out of water. We don't know how to use these players. You looked at the way that Kudus looked today in the middle of the park, and to think that Souček has been starting in front of that bloke. What is going on? I mean, Cresswell was probably one of the best players on the pitch today for us, outside of Kudus. He looked really good. He looked really sharp. He was all right. He weren't a problem. Soufal, shit. Zuma, Aguirre were awful. Alvarez was crap again, but I'm telling you, James Ward-Prowse next to him is causing a problem. We haven't got one player that can hold the fort for everyone and compensate for holding a spare part player who can take a fucking free kick. There is a reason why clubs weren't queuing around the block for James Ward-Prowse. There is. That's because he hasn't got the size and physicality or speed to be in a fucking Premier League midfield. He ain't got it. He's tidy. He's a tidy player. He's okay. But fucking hell, Jared Bowen was kept really quiet, but he never stopped trying. Paqueta was largely disappointing. Kudus was brilliant. And the changes, you're crying out for a change. What I said was, coming into the first half, they've just scored. They've just scored their goal. Again, just after half-time, they scored. I said, do me a favour, get Ward-Prowse off, shift Paqueta into the middle next to Alvarez, put someone like Cornet on the left-hand side, a direct runner on the left-hand side. You know he'll go at the fullback. On his strongest side, whip the balls in, leave Antonio on the fucking pitch. Actually get someone to get some supply into him. But what does he do? First chance he gets. Let's take James Ward-Prowse off one spare part player in that game and introduce another one. And then later on, does he bring on Divin Mbama? No, of course he don't. He brings on Danny Ings again with about 10 minutes to go. What is the fucking point? He sacrificed a win away at Olympiacos, which we would absolutely have got if we'd have played our first team, for today. And that's what we've got. He sacrificed that. Now we've got to play full-strength teams in the rest of the fucking European group games. Otherwise, we're going to risk going out. Which means our first team is going to have to play Thursday, Sunday. He's completely fucked it. He has. Is he going to get sacked? Is he fucked? Because Sullivan only cares about the fact that there's 3 worst teams in the league, and there absolutely are 3 worst teams in the league this year. The 3 that came up are the 3 that are going to go straight back down again with a whimper. I've got no doubt in my mind. So what that means is they're going to stand by and we're going to piss another season down the fucking drain in the Premier League. We are hope for a miracle run in the cup to paper over the cracks again. And then if he does win a cup, we'll have the same shit next year. People saying, oh, he's fucking this, he's that. We've got to keep him. I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't know what it was like. I weren't there. But the atmosphere in that place was dead. It was like a morgue. Just watch any team that play good football. Watch Arsenal. Watch Aston Villa. Watch Newcastle. Watch them and listen to their fans and look how fucking bouncing it is in them places. Whether people want to admit it or not, we've all had enough of this now. You might be scared of what comes next, but everyone has surely had enough of this now. Enough is enough. Thanks, David Moyes. Thank you, honestly, sincerely. But please, fuck off. Just go. Go. We've got Tim Stighton in there now, who's an expert at bringing people in. Don't waste a season. Otherwise, we're running the risk of having no chance of competing for any European places. Then we're going to lose our best players. That's going to set us back a year, 2 years. It might happen anyway. But unless we gamble and try and do something, we'll never know. We ain't going to get relegated this year, as I've just said. We might as well sack the fucker, get someone else in, and let them have half a season to embed their philosophy. I'd rather that. Like a super long pre-season, ready to go for next season. Get them in, give them a transfer window. What the fuck are we doing? This guy is useless, and I'm fed up talking about him. I am fed up, sick of talking about him. I can't, honestly, I can't fucking deal with the football anymore. I can't deal with the fan base that don't seem to care. You know, it's just about results. They don't care. It's like you're a fucking idiot if you crave to be entertained watching a football match. I mean, look at our run now. Maybe they'll listen now because they're all 3 points orientated. So we've had a shit run in the last 6-7 games. What have we won? We beat Sheffield United. That's all we've won. We lost to Liverpool, lost to City. We beat Sheffield United. Big fucking whoop. You know, we escaped getting beat in the second half at home to Newcastle. We got battered by Aston Villa, and we just basically came up against an Everton team who weren't even really on it. Let's face it, they weren't good, but they had no issue managing that game to get a win away at our place against us. Fucking Everton. And then we're going to go away to Brentford with no Alvarez, no Paqueta, because they're on fucking bans now because they've had too many bookings. What do people need to see? Why aren't we still having this conversation? Why can't we all just fucking unite in what is clearly best for the club? So we'd all be happier. Surely you realise that. If we had a better manager, all of this noise would stop. The Moyes in lot, the Moyes out lot, it's all gone. We'd just be focused on football. But all the while that fuck is here, there's going to be problems because he's divisive. But look, anyway, that's it from me. We're back later on. We're back later on. I mean, the donkeys don't even do this justice. Because the players were shit as well. They were. I think they're down tools. They have. You know? And to be quite honest, if they do down tools in the next couple of games and it manages to fuck him off, then maybe they will have done us a favour. Because maybe they're sick of this shit as well. But we'll be back later on, 9 o'clock. See you later on. Come on, you irons, and fuck off, Moyes.